What up, this is Patrick Hayes, welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to teach you how to get high naturally off of these 5 legal herbs. Now if you know me very well, you know that I don't encourage people to participate in acts of escapism in order to avoid their feelings or avoid dealing with their life. So that's not what I'm encouraging here. In fact, what I'm trying to offer to people through this video is alternatives to more destructive drugs and alcohol. So oftentimes people go and get hammered in order to feel better on a daily basis, sometimes even. So what I'm offering here is an alternative to that, more healthy alternatives to the common drugs and alcohol that people use on a daily basis. So the first one that I'm going to share with you is kava. You may have heard of this. It's kava root. They have kava bars actually all over the place. And while kava can be a bit difficult on the liver, the benefit of kava over alcohol is that kava does not turn you into a sloppy, drunk idiot that does stupid shit. See, this is what alcohol does to people. It makes them dumb. And so not only does it cost a lot of money to support an alcohol habit, but what also costs a ton of money is all the damage that you create in your life, right? So wrecking your car, getting a DUI, breaking stuff, losing money because you're too drunk, spending money on stupid stuff because you're too drunk. All that kind of stuff totally is ridiculous. And I had to come out and be like, listen, there's other alternatives here. So first one, kava, has a lot to do with like your feel good, like your sense of well-being. So it's a great way of boosting your sense of well-being while still maintaining the ability to have conversations that are actually intelligent with people, as opposed to drunk conversations that actually mean nothing, you don't remember the next day. So the second one I want to talk about is something called blue lotus. Now, blue lotus is really interesting because in ancient Egypt, blue lotus was revered as like a dream herb that would help people connect with the gods. And so there's some psychoactive effects that go on with blue lotus. But what's really interesting about how blue lotus can be used in a social environment today is that it acts kind of like a social lubricant, right? So a lot of people use really unhealthy things like Xanax or Valium in order to feel okay to communicate with people because they have anxiety. But blue lotus is a great herb that can help you to feel less anxiety and actually can help you dream and dream lucidly without having to take some strong pharmaceutical like that. It actually has a lot of really negative effects. So blue lotus is a great alternative to things like alcohol and also like barbiturates. Okay, number 3. Now this is one that everybody's probably heard of, but they don't necessarily know how to use it in a way where they can exchange it for, say, like a more unhealthy habit. And this is cacao, chocolate. Yes, cacao and chocolate, we all know it has a little bit of caffeine in it. At least that's what you hear. But what people don't realize oftentimes is that theobromine is one of the main stimulants in cacao. So for people that like a lot of coffee, realize that caffeine is a neurological stimulant. And the result of a neurological stimulant is is more anxiety and kind of more edginess, right? You're kind of spinning in your thoughts a little bit more, or like more wired, right? But theobromine is a cardiovascular stimulant. So it stimulates more around the heart. So it's on a different level. And actually it's really connected to, in many different cultures, like especially in South American cultures, it's connected to the heart and heart medicine. So, and considered a heart medicine. So it actually opens your heart up. So cacao is actually something that's a great alternative for caffeine. In fact, when I stopped drinking caffeine, I drank cacao for years. I don't really take any of these anymore because I found that, well, every now and then I might try a little bit of one of them. But I don't really take them anymore because, you know, I've just moved beyond wanting anything to really modulate my consciousness. But I used cacao for a very long time. I used all these in my own, at different times in my life. But I used cacao for a really long time as I was overcoming my stimulant addiction, right? My addiction to caffeine and different stuff like that. And while cacao is a stimulant and you can become addicted to it, it has a different vibrational nature to it. It's much more heart-centered. And there's more of an in your body kind of energy. So it can be very grounding for people. There's this heart kind of love energy that comes from cacao that can really create beautiful space. And this is why so many people have cacao ceremonies, because a really beautiful sacred space can be generated through a little bit of stimulation from the cacao plant. Okay, the next one I want to share with you is something called valerian root. And it may sound familiar to you because valerian root is originally what Valium came from. And you can hear the similarity in the names etymologically, right? So Valium and valerian. Well, valerian root is it's a depressant, not in a negative sense, but it is a relaxant and it's a sleep aid, right? So valerian will really relax your nervous system. So if you feel like you're on edge, a lot of people drink alcohol because they feel like they're on edge, right? If you drink valerian, valerian will actually relax your nervous system. It can help you sleep. If you have insomnia, it can help relax you if you have anxiety. So it's another thing that you can swap out and use instead of, say, Xanax or Valium. And valerian root is a lot better than Valium because Valium is so extremely concentrated and it's synthetic. It is actually quite imbalanced on the system. But if you get a tincture of valerian root, you'll notice, especially if you're sensitive, that it really relaxes your nervous system. Now this one can be dangerous because it is habit forming. So I don't recommend doing any of these that I'm mentioning every single day, right? You maybe use them as a supplement to help you with things from time to time, but don't use any of them every single day, especially valerian, because valerian, like I said, it can become habit forming and it can create a reverse effect, whereas if you don't use valerian, you feel really anxious or you can't sleep. So I would only use it sparingly, maybe a couple times a week at most. Okay, number 5. Now this one is really exciting because this one is actually an aphrodisiac. This is a sexual stimulant that is stimulating. It's kind of like has a zing like coffee, right? It kind of gets you stimulated, but it's quite arousing. And this is called yohimbe. And yohimbe actually has been documented to increase vaginal stimulation by up to 80%. So it's actually something that's really fun to play with your partner. So it can add a lot of spice to your time in the bedroom. So the next time you want to reach to alcohol or some other unhealthy kind of drug to get high or to go enjoy yourself, realize there's other alternatives out there that can be way more grounded, way more healthy, that are herbal, that are still natural, that you can use in order to have some fun, maybe reduce some anxiety, or just go out and be more social without having to do something unhealthy like that. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you found this video useful or helpful, please share it with somebody else that you think might find it useful or helpful also, and I would really appreciate that. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you next time. One love.